The war drums are pounding, the streets in America are on fire, man, markets panicking, fear is everywhere. Screw it, let's buy Solana, guys. Let's go. Here's what smart investors are doing. They're buying the dip, man. They're loading up. They know the ETF's coming. The time to buy, of course, when everyone's scared. And right now, smart money's buying Solana. Not for the hype, but because Solana is delivering and they know that an ETF is coming. We have major upgrades, we have real adoption. And yes, the ETF is probably just around the effing corner. Plus Treasury companies is crazy. Stick around till the end as we explore and figure out why Solana is a big money play and has a pretty good chance to have some strong performance here in the not so distant future. Solana, of course, started one of the fastest blockchains out there, but the Firedancer narrative is just not going away. Set to roll out soonish. It's about to slap a turbocharger on top of Solana's already insane speed. Firedancer might sound like your uncle's favorite 70s dance, right? Stop it, Uncle Joe. But it's not a disco throwback. It's a full throttle upgrade to Solana's core, built by the serious quants over at Jump Crypto. Solana, look, it's a beast in its current form. 50,000 effing transactions per second. It's so far ahead of other blockchains, it's not even funny. Firedancer, oh, it's way crazier. Million transactions per second. It literally obsoletes the vast majority of the blockchain space. Why do you need those other blockchains? We can just use Solana to do everything you want to do. That's next level, man. This is, I imagine what it does DeFi, NFTs, AI, meme coin degeneracy, casino gambling. It's all gonna be great. Anything that needs to move at the speed of light, like buying a dog coin, going, man. Here's the wild part. Firedancer isn't just an upgrade. It's basically a whole new validator client built separately from Solana's original one. So think of it like installing a backup engine in your race car, except it's not just a regular engine, it's like a rocket engine. If one fails, the other kicks in and keeps the wheels spinning, by the way. That kind of redundancy can help make Solana a little more resilient. Gone may be the days of, whoops, somebody turned the blockchain off, flip the switch a few times, kick it, you turn it back on. A beta version called Frankendancer. Yeah, why not? Anyway, it's already live on the mainnet, flexing its performance gains. The full version is expected sometime later in 2025. And when it hits, it's basically like strapping, again, a rocket to a jet engine. So it's going to be pretty awesome. But it's not just about speed, it's about reliability and scale and really building more confidence that Solana is the future of blockchain. Firedancer can make Solana the slickest, the strongest, the hottest blockchain in the game. And that's exactly the kind of upgrade that smart money is paying attention to. Now, before we get into the ETF situation, I want to let you know what's going on over at Femex right now. They have an insane trading competition going on for the month of June. You can join my team right now. Links down below. So go check it out. They're giving away $3 million in team prizes, $1.5 million in individual prizes, and $500,000 in newcomer prizes. So if you're new to the exchange, you can get those awesome prizes too. So there's a lot to love about the trading competition here. Huge prizes. If you like trading, if you're good at trading, if you enjoy trading, if you just want to have your hand and see, hey, what happens? What if we could win some big money here? Well, go join my team. The link's down below. We're trading over on Femex. If you want to join me in those trades, then check it out. Link down below. Okay, now ETFs. Look, we all saw what happened to Bitcoin after the spot ETF launched in January 2024. It pumped over 140% in less than a year and officially graduated to a Wall Street asset with BlackRock and all their big institutions shilling it. That was the moment institutions stopped side-eyeing crypto and started writing massive checks. And now Solana could be the next in line for the big leagues. On June 13th, 7 ETF applications for Solana hit the SEC for commentary, including heavyweights from Fidelity, Grayscale, VanEck. BlackRock has not put in a Solana ETF application yet. Imagine they will at some point. Now, these firms filed what's called an S1, which is basically a pitch deck to the SEC laying out how the ETF works, the risks, the fees, and how they're going to track the price of Solana. Now, we don't have any approval yet, but the fact that the S1s are filed is basically a major step towards getting it through. The S1 filing is a game changer. And when the ETF comes, and it will, it's not a question of if, but when. It means that pensions, hedge funds, your cousin's financial advisor can finally buy Solana without needing a phantom wallet or a crash course in DeFi. And unlike hype cycles, ETFs bring sticky, long-term demand. Plus, we might even have staking on these, which will be insane if they actually let that happen, because suddenly you're going to have a Solana ETF that pays, what, 8 or 9% APY? Nuts. People are going to go crazy for these things. When this happens, Solana is going to have a whole new wave of capital coming in very hot. And there might even be replaying the Treasury strategy book here too. beyond ETFs. Because remember, back in 2020, Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy kicked off the Bitcoin strategy thing. People clowned on him for years, making his big degen moves, buying billions and billions of Bitcoin. Fast forward 5 years, he's like Bitcoin Jesus these days. And now he set such a crazy model in place, such a wildly successful blueprint for corporate crypto adoption. Everyone's following it. Now look, Bitcoin's the digital gold standard for a ton of legit companies, but here's the thing. They're not stopping at Bitcoin. It was never just gonna stop at Bitcoin. And obviously MicroStrategy is a Bitcoin only company, but other corporate treasuries, they want to take more risk. And Solana's been catching a serious amount of attention as a treasury asset, and there are some big players jumping in. Take Canadian publicly traded company Sol Global Investments, Solana Treasury Company. They've been stacking Solana as part of their crypto-focused portfolio and reportedly now hold more than 30,000 Solana, which is not crazy numbers by any means, but it's adding up. Then you've got NASDAQ listed DeFi Technologies with its 609,000 Solana stashed. That's a big pile of Sol, man. Neptune Digital Assets with 33,000 Solana. Now Sol Strategies, they're going hard. They're filing a $1 billion shelf prospectus to load up on Solana. Then we have companies like Galaxy Digital here in the mix, holding Solana alongside other crypto assets. In fact, it seems that Galaxy Digital might have sold about $100 million of ETH a few months ago and bought more Solana. Another NASDAQ company, Upexi, is straight up flexing with 679,000 Solana. And there are more companies adding Solana to their balance sheets every day, it seems, or at least a few per week, which is highly impactful for an asset that's only worth $80 to $90 billion, depending on the day. With that and ETFs at the same time, it's insane. Now the question is, why are a lot of companies betting on Solana? Because this isn't just a fast chain with cheap gas fees, man. It's becoming the full stack crypto experience, the future of the internet, all that kind of stuff. That's the narrative that's being sold. Solana has real users, real developers, and real products, from decentralized finance to NFTs to payments. Okay, Solana is building out the kind of ecosystem and tech stack that most chains can only dream of. Solana's doing it. Wallets like Phantom offer a clean and beginner-friendly experience that feels a lot more like Web 2 simplicity versus Web 3 bullshit. Okay, and then you've got Solana Pay, giving businesses out there the power to accept cryptocurrencies across the Solana network basically instantly and with no middlemen and no gas drama. On the culture side, you know, we're all about culture over here. Drip is onboarding thousands with free daily NFT drops, kind of like the Starbucks of Web3 collectibles. We have other companies like Tensor, which has emerged as a lightning fast NFT marketplace. And yes, NFTs are still hot, and they're still hot on Solana. No, they're not as hot as 2021, but they're still happening, by the way. Tensor offering all kinds of tools for serious traders, right? And speed that even Ethereum's top platforms are struggling to match. Now, if we look at on-chain data from Masari, we're going to see a very interesting picture showing up here as well. Some Dune charts here as well. Now, Solana has way more daily active addresses and daily transactions than basically everybody else. It's pretty crazy, actually. Look, if we look closer here, Solana has basically been giving Ethereum an absolute run for its money for the past several months. It's been ridiculous. And yeah, it's sometimes ETH catches up a little bit and all that stuff, but there's been so many days and weeks and months where Solana did more than ETH and all of its layer 2s combined. Now, the magic here, of course, with Solana is that it all works. It's fast, it's cheap, and it's working at scale. And the upcoming Firedancer upgrade, it's just going to make things even crazier. It's going to make Solana even better. Now, you compare that to Ethereum, right? Which, look, there's a lot of reasons why we could kick an ETH in the balls, all right? And it's still the number 2 crypto coin, and it's still the biggest smart contract platform, and Vitalik said he's going to 10x the scalability in the next year, and a lot of good stuff happening. Base is great. Yeah, we all love Base, all right? And the fees have improved a bit recently with the recent Pectra upgrade, so things are happening. But it still has a long way to go. Solana is leaving it in the dust with its fast transaction speed and dirt cheap fees. And get this, according to a December 2024 report from Electric Capital, well, guess what? Solana has onboarded more new developers than Ethereum, which is pretty problematic. So for the first time since 2016, Ethereum has lost the dev mindshare lead. Solana brought in more than 7,600 new developers in the last year, while Ethereum pulled in just 6,456. So again, it's not like Ethereum's like super falling behind, but the tide is shifting. Daily transactions, TVL's rising, all that kind of stuff, and the devs are choosing Solana over ETH. It's a big signal, not just to kick ETH in the balls. Obviously, it's still an incredible amount of developers on Ethereum too, just to be super clear, but it feels like Solana is undervalued by comparison. Builders are showing up, and when builders show up, guess what? More value usually follows because people come in to use what the builders built. And that brings us to the next reason, is that Solana right now feels pretty damn undervalued compared to Ethereum. I mean, why wouldn't it have the same market cap at some point this cycle as Ethereum? I know everyone, oh, it's gonna flip Ethereum. Maybe. Regardless of whether it flips or catches up and hits his parity or not, Solana still feels undervalued compared to Ethereum when you look across all the metrics going on right now. So let's look at the scoreboard. Ethereum's market cap is roughly 4 times bigger than Solana's. And as you know, the bigger the market cap, the lower the potential gain. So if both hit $1 trillion market cap, okay, which, sure, possible, why not? Well, it's only about a 3x gain for Ethereum. It's not bad. Think about TradFi, investing in the S&P 500. I mean, you're beating that, aren't you? But if Solana does it, that's a 12x gain. You make 4 times as much money. And if you break it down by actual usage, okay, transactions per second and speed and fees. Look, Solana doesn't just kind of, hold its own a little bit. It's crushing. It's crushing, man. It wins in most categories. And the crazy part here, Solana has already hit a new all-time high this cycle, while Ethereum's still struggling to even get close to its previous peak. Now look, if you've been following along on the channel here, you know I've had a lot of criticisms around Ethereum, okay, including exiting my position a few months ago. I did flip some BTC into ETH for a very clear BTC ETH trade. I've liked Solana, I think, a bit more in recent months. Don't get me wrong, I still like ETH too, and I'm currently holding both ETH and Solana. ETH's got the track record, it's solid, but let's be real. Solana has been absolutely crushing it this cycle, and being valued at 1/4 of Ethereum right now feels mispriced. Look, yeah, there's pros and cons to both coins, sure, but just look at the ETF flows that are about to come. Look at the corporate treasury flows. Look at the tech upgrades. Look at the usage statistics. And then try to convince me that Solana is not going to go higher this cycle, because it's going to go higher, and probably at a higher rate than Ethereum. Thanks for watching.